हैं, अब शरर यहाँ बड़े हो रहे हैं, 9 साल के शरर जो है 18 साल की उम्र तक यहीं रहेंगे अभी, गार्डन रीच में, मथिया बुर्ज में, उस छोटे से नए लखनऊ में. And this city must have been abuzz with the stories of what Lucknow was, what had been lost. So Sharar is growing up with all these stories. Sharar is also learning a lot of languages, including Urdu, Persian, Arabic, Bengali, English, etc. And he turns into a writer. He turns into a writer and starts writing for a paper which is brought out from Lucknow called Awadh Akhbar. Now, the famous Nawal Kishore Press, the first publishers of Ghalib from Delhi, were this press in Lucknow, because Delhi was totally ujao at that time, thanks to mutiny. So Nawal Kishore Press Lucknow was publishing Ghalib, and they bring out this akhbar called Awadh Akhbar, and he becomes the Calcutta correspondent for Awadh Akhbar. Next year, when he is 19, 10 years after he had left his city of birth, he revisits Lucknow for the first time to get married to a cousin, and comes to Lucknow, meets the editor of another very important paper from Lucknow called Awadh Punch, which was kind of, which was just trying to ape the Punch from London, this humor paper Punch from London, if you have heard of that. He was trying to make Awadh Punch, which relied on humor a lot, which relied on cartoons a lot. And the editor there inspires him to write prose, and Sharar starts writing prose in those poetry-prone days. So now, Sharar is writing prose, and immediately when he meets the Nawal Kishore Press people, the Bhargavs, the Raja Bhargavs, they say that why don't you go to Hyderabad and become our special correspondent in Hyderabad, Deccan. There are 2 Hyderabaads in India at that time, Hyderabad Sindh and Hyderabad Deccan. So he goes to the Nizam, Hyderabad. Nizams and Nawabs of Lucknow had a similar position vis-a-vis the Delhi Darbar is concerned. They were both governors of the Delhi Mughal Darbar. So he goes and becomes the correspondent there. He goes and starts publishing his first magazine called Dil Gudaz, which he published 3 times in his life, once from Hyderabad, once from Calcutta, once ultimately from Lucknow. And that's where he writes his first novel. And after having written his first novel, because he knows Bengali, having grown in Calcutta, he starts translating Bankim Chand Chattopadhyay in Urdu for the first time. So here you see the reach of Bankim Chand Chattopadhyay, and here you see the reach of Urdu, all at the same time. Sorry, I'm an old man, so I have to refer to notes. But here, back home, in 1887, the year when Queen Victoria's Golden Jubilee is being celebrated all over the world, or all over the world where the sun did not set on the British Empire, back home in India, in Calcutta, Wajid Ali Shah is on his deathbed, and the sun is about to set on the empire of Awadh. A man who has not signed the annexation. Rest of all the kings and queens, rest of all the potentates have signed this treaty in India. Those who have not signed, like Rani Jhansi, are all killed. But here is a man who is alive and not signed the annexation. It's very important. Go and see a museum which I have created on Sardar Patel in this town, which is on the gate number 1 of Pragati Maidan. Sardar Patel, so you will see about the kingdoms and the queens and the potentates of India. Here, Wajid Ali Shah is dying. 6 days before he dies, British know that he's about to die. They eke a ransacking and looting of his properties in Calcutta. All his properties are looted and ransacked. And the day he dies, next day there is an auction of all his properties by the Ganges, by the Hooghly, to most of the British shipping companies. Sharar had no reason now to be anywhere around. He leaves Calcutta, travels to London with some principalities prince to teach him Urdu and Farsi and things, goes with him to England. And there, apart from teaching him, also learns some French and starts translating a little French literature as well. We just talked about a French play here. But then, after spending about 2 years in London, he comes back and settles in Lucknow. And now Sharar is not just a writer of novels, Sharar is also an editor of several magazines and a big activist. The year is 1900. In 1900, Sharar brings out a magazine called Ismat, which is dedicated to but one agenda. And I'm very happy that there are a few female friends are still in this room. The agenda year 1900 of magazine called Ismat was that Muslim women should reject burqa. Will you dare to even write an article today? Burqa is increasing in India. Sharar brought out this magazine in 1900, just dedicated to one agenda, that how burqa is bad every which way and burqa should be rejected by the Muslim women. What the kind of a he had to face those days from the mullahs in Lucknow. In the same way, at the time of Banga Bhango, 1905, he starts writing about that when in the name of Hindu-Muslim the Bengal was being divided. He brings out another magazine which is dedicated to Hindu-Muslim unity. When Khilafat movement takes place, in which Gandhiji will also join, he is one of the leaders of the Khilafat movement as well. So see what a modern looking man he is. And by the year 1926, when he will die, eventually he will leave 102 novels with us, most of them historical novels, many of them about Islamic history. But for him, history was not something which was only to eulogize the past and the wallow in the "Arey wo hamara chala gaya, hamara lut gaya." But as Ram Chandra Guha would say, that read history so that it can illuminate the present. इसी बीच में 1913 में अब्दुल हलीम शरर साहब वो किताब लिखते हैं जिसका तस्करा, जिसकी बात करने आज हम यहाँ जमा हैं. As you know, हिंदुस्तान में मशरकी तमद्दुन का आखिरी नमूना, the last example of etiquettes and cultures of the East in India, or Gujishta Lucknow, the bygone Lucknow. This book, friends, written, which is serialized first in 1913 and will come out in a couple of years as a book, was the first major book in India written about a city, about the history, geography, anthropology of a city, of a culture. It was, there's no other book. There's a book in Delhi which is an illustration book by an Indian author who was told by the British to go and illustrate all the monuments of Delhi. He'll go and illustrate all the monuments of Delhi, but he'll not write a word, because writing was an Englishman's job. Writing was somebody else's job. Indians were not writing the books of the cities. But for one little book which comes from Calcutta, which is called Tatkalin Mango Samaj, by one, the writer's name is what is the writer's name? Anyway, I'll give you the writer's name before I leave. It is by Shivnath Shastri. Tatkalin Mango Samaj also is more about the Bengal Renaissance and more about the Bhadralok's movement of the Brahmo Samaj movement. It's not as much about the city of Calcutta per se. Such books existed, but only by the British, only by the Europeans, not by the Indians. And if I'm proven wrong and one of you will tell me about these books that no sir, there's one book which exists before this, I'll be very happy to be proven wrong here. Here now Sharar is writing Gujishta Lucknow, which is about the birth and the growth and the culture and the idiosyncrasies of Lucknow and the whole culture which is related to that. Sharar's book loosely can be divided into three parts. The first part, friends, is about the birth and the concept of the city of Lucknow itself. And please see, not only you should see, the people who are ruling Lucknow today should also see that coming from another era, coming from another culture, coming from another religion, coming from having loyalties to another kind of a political dispensation, what Maulana Abdul Halim Sharar is writing about the birth of Lucknow. कहते हैं राजा रामचंद्र जी लंका को फतेह करके जब अपने वनवास का जमाना पूरा करके शरीरे जहां पनाही पर जलवा अफरोज हुए, मतलब जब when he took the throne और उनका जलवा पूरे हिंदुस्तान में फैलने लगा, जब शरीरे जहां पनाही पर, जहां पनाह जाते हैं ना राजा को कहते हैं, जहां पनाही पर जलवा अफरोज हुए, तो ये सरजमीन यानी लखनऊ उन्होंने जागीर के तौर पर अपने हमदर्द और अपने हमसफर भाई, हमदर्द तो भरत जी भी थे, हमदर्द तो शत्रुघ्न जी भी थे, लेकिन वो हमसफर नहीं थे. They did not travel with him. अपने हमदर्द और अपने हमसफर भाई लक्ष्मण जी को अता कर दी, चुनाचे इन्हीं के क़याम व वरूद से यहाँ दरिया किनारे एक ऊंचे टेकरे पर बस्ती आबाद हो गई, जिसका उस वक्त से नाम लक्ष्मणपुर करार पाया, और वो टेकरा लक्ष्मण टीला नाम से मशहूर हो गया. Giving the whole credit to Raja Ramchand ji and to Lakshman ji about Lucknow. He's not mincing his words. He's not saying Nawab started this and that, etc., etc. The people who are changing names should learn something from him. That how can you give credit to other people also sometimes? Allahabad was not a city before Akbar stepped foot there. It used to be some combination of some ashrams there of different people, including Bharadwaj, where Ramchandji also went during his Banvas. There was no city because it was a floodplain. Akbar saw the strategic importance of it, made a bund and a dam there, and started the city which he did not call Allahabad, he called Ilahabas. Bas मतलब वास, रहना, जो संस्कृत का हिंदी का शब्द है. और इलाहा कहाँ से? जिसने दीन इलाही, इलाही की बात करता है वो अल्लाह की, भगवान की, रामचंद्र जी की बात नहीं करता. इलाही का बास, जहाँ भगवान रहते हैं, किसी भी रिलीजन के भगवान हो सकते हैं. ये था अकबर का शहर. लेकिन ये आदमी दे रहा है पूरा, रामचंद्र जी को क्रेडिट दे रहा है अपनी बात.